Attacks on Ukrainian civilians are bringing increased calls for sanctions against Russia, the latest on investigations into war crimes.
And rain and snow both rolling through central Missouri. We're tracking it, what you can expect tonight and over the next 8 days.
Plus a Mid-Missouri health fair with a focus beyond just COVID-19. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Well, it's back to rain and even snow in parts of mid-Missouri at the end of a warm weekend. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks for joining us. We're going to send it straight over to Chief Meteorologist Kenton Jewicki. Hey, Kenton. How are you doing?
Hey,
so tell us a little bit about who's getting the rain, who's getting the snow.
Yeah, well, we are seeing all of it. Actually, we have tornado warnings out there right now, too. We're looking at those down here into southern Missouri, a bit of a line of those earlier coming in out of Arkansas. Nothing confirmed with the tornado right now, but there is seeing rotation on radar right now. They're in the southern central part of our state. Otherwise, we're seeing snow here in northern Missouri. I've seen that over in Kansas City as well. Some locations here have been reported of seeing even inches of snowfall already from this, but you can see we're starting to see this break up as a sign that this is starting to weaken. It should continue to do so. Right now, looking at first alert radar, we're seeing still this rain moving through. And even I was talking to folks in Moberly that luckily were speaking to me here on social media saying that they have not started to see that snow yet. So it can confirm that Randolph County there really has not seen snow, and it's still too warm for that, which is also something that we are seeing when we look at our temperatures. 34 degrees there. Of course, the freezing point is 32. So a little colder up to the north where they have been seeing that even again really close. So it's a pretty steep cutoff. That's where you can tell just a degree or two. The fact that they've been seeing snow over north of the metro there in Kansas City up towards northwestern Missouri, and it's just 1 or 2 degrees colder there than it is here in our neck of the woods. It just takes a couple degrees to make all the difference here. But we are likely going to see these temperatures drop a bit more overnight. As that happens, those still under some of this moisture will likely get some snow, and then we'll have just enough moisture potentially overnight to see some flurries or light snow showers move through overnight. Shouldn't cause us any issues, though, a dusting of snow possible. I'll track the next 8 days coming up.
It's been 11 days since Russian troops entered Ukraine. Attacks on civilians have led to more calls from world leaders for harsher sanctions against Russia. CNN's Cole Higgins has the latest from Ukraine.
More than 360 civilians killed and many more injured by Russian forces as they try to escape the destruction underway in Ukraine. The UN says the real death toll likely much higher.
What are they trying to achieve? To bring us to our knees?
On Sunday, constant heavy shelling north and west of the capital city, Kyiv. The Russian military bombarding a checkpoint for civilian evacuations, leaving at least 2 children dead, according to Ukrainian authorities.
They are preparing to bomb Odessa. This will be a war crime. This will be a historic crime.
Amid new fears that Russia will soon expand attacks to more major Ukrainian cities, President Volodymyr Zelensky making an urgent appeal to political leaders around the world.
If you don't at least give us airplanes so we can defend ourselves, the only thing we can think is that you also want us to be killed slowly.
U.S. officials confirmed the White House is in talks with Poland on the possibility of backfilling their fighter jets so that Poland can give their Russian-made jets to Ukraine. And now the U.S. is looking at new paths to stop the Russian onslaught.
Today, Russian oil and gas smells Ukrainian blood. So instead of donating money to us, just stop buying it.
We are now talking to our European partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the import of Russian oil.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
And you've probably noticed those gas prices have rose 46 cents since Russia invaded Ukraine 10 days ago. AAA announcing today the national average price for regular gasoline in the U.S. now over $4. Its website lists the price here in Missouri at nearly $3.60. Gas prices rose 28 cents in the last 3 days. It's the largest increase since Hurricane Katrina devastated the nation's oil and gas industry in 2005. 5. Gas is not the only product in Russia with sanctions. 2 new corporate media giants suspended their services in Russia. Today, both Netflix and TikTok removed Russian access to their platforms. The companies said it was in response to the current situation in Ukraine. TikTok added it has no choice but to suspend any new video content due to Russia's recently signed fake news law. Students at a Kansas high school are going back to school tomorrow after a shooting on Friday. A student on the football team shot his school's principal and security resource officer. Both are expected to survive. There will be counselors on hand tomorrow to talk with students and teachers. One student says she thinks the counselor will help her emotionally process the shooting.
It's a scary situation. Like, nobody knows how to handle it. It hasn't really happened to a lot of people, so I think being able to sit down and talk with people would help.
The shooter is in critical condition after police shot him. When he leaves the hospital, he will face capital murder charges and a $1 million bond. Back here in mid-Missouri, the Columbia City Council will vote on how to spend COVID relief money at tomorrow night's meeting. Council members will vote on a resolution that would put all American Rescue Plan Act funding toward people who were disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Councilwoman Pat Fowler proposed that resolution last month. Last year, the council suggested but did not vote on putting about half of the $25 million in aid toward expanding broadband and stormwater infrastructure. The council will also vote on changes to school resource officers and student discipline in Columbia schools. COVID-19 cases are going down here in Missouri while vaccination rates are slowly going up, and one Jefferson City church hoped to boost that rate at an event today. KOMU8's Avery Grosvenor was at that event and tells us what else it hoped to accomplish.
I spent the morning at Immaculate Conception Church where they hosted a health fair. People could get their COVID vaccine while they were there, but organizers told me that wasn't their only goal today.
This Jefferson City clinic covered a lot of ground. From COVID-19 vaccines to youth drug abuse.
A child may feel that they are sad. And
Executive Director for Drug Free Youth, a parent-student group in mid-Missouri, says kids turn to drugs because of mental health struggles.
they feel maybe I shouldn't be sad. It's okay to be sad, but it's also how do you learn to cope when you're sad in that situation.
Drug abuse can also affect a developing brain. Guests could walk through and read about different functions and brain diseases.
It is a safe place.
The clinic also featured a group offering support to mothers. Magnolia Mamas hope to encourage grieving mothers to get help.
The main thing is, it doesn't matter how our child died, it doesn't matter when they died, it's the fact that they died. And so it's you just know the pain that these new mamas are in at that point.
The mission of this clinic went beyond one topic, hoping to encourage a healthier Jefferson City.
The health fair hoped to focus on long-term health issues that exist regardless of the pandemic. In the studio, Avery Grosvenor, KMU8 News.